Hi there, welcome to Elm Colors. I'm Erica, and on today's video I am going to be doing a color along in Romantic Country with my Inktense pencils. You all voted on a couple of community posts that I put out there, and these were the winners by a slight margin. I think this one won by 1%, and this one, the Inktense, won by 1% as well. So really close, and I might do another color along with the other two that were really close to winning. So today we're going to be working in Romantic Country. So let me move this over to the side here, and then I will show you the page that we're going to work on. Okay, so I've got my page picked out. I've got a few pencils to get us started, and I will show you. We're going to be working on this lovely little page. Now you'll see a couple of places in here where I have done a little bit of coloring already. In this book I have decided that I was going to carry that blue color throughout, so you'll be able to see on several of my pages that I already have that color laid down here and there. Here, let me show you back this way. It's a little bit easier to see. So you can see I've kind of gone through in different pages and just added that color in. So this is the page that we're going to work on. And I've got a backer paper in here, and then I am going to attempt to clip my page since I'm using watercolor. This book doesn't tend to warp too badly. I've used, like on the pages up here, these both have a ton of watercolor and they feel a little bit warpy, but and this is all Inktense. So it should lay flat. It'll give you some concern at first, but then it'll lay flat for you after a bit. So I'm gonna help it along with one of those little clips there. So when I work with Inktense, and a lot of the times when I work with any pencils, I tend to work from the back to the front. So I'm going to start with the background first, and then I'm going to move to the front, and then I'll probably end up doing these flower things last. So I've got some colors pulled for the night sky. I've got 4 colors, even though it's a tiny little section. I've got 4 colors pulled. So and I'm working with this 72 set of Inktense. So I've got, let's see if you can see that there. Mauve, deep violet, iron blue, and peacock blue. And basically, I'm just going to randomly color bits and pieces, little sections here and there with different colors. And I don't have a plan in mind. It's just kind of whatever. I am going to leave a little bit of a halo around the moon, but I'm not going to worry about the stars because I'm going to come back in with probably a white gel pen and cover that back up. So just adding color here and there. I'm going to grab to a blue here. And then this last blue. Which is just a little bit different than that other blue, but not a ton. Okay, and you know what? Let me move you in closer so you can see. Hang on a second. Okay, so hopefully you can see a little bit better there. I'm just gonna use a water brush, and I think, yeah, this one should work. So it's just a regular water brush. So you can kind of see how messy that looks, and then as soon as I go to apply this water, it just magically looks better. Make sure that you have a paper towel nearby so that you can clean off your brush. And I'm going to start right along the edge of this moon here and push the color away. And then I'll do the same. I might have to turn my book, but I'll have to push the water away that way too to keep that white space around the moon. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started with that. Okay, next I'm going to be working on the little shrub here, and I have pulled iron green and Ionian green. So I'm going to get started on that. Again, I'm going to leave a little space at the edge of the shrub here so that I can keep that highlight from the moonlight. And let me try to push that color back into that. It looks kind of messy right now, but that's okay because it will, I can use when I come back in with a my white gel pen, that I can kind of cover some of that up so it won't look so crazy. Okay. And I'll get that all blended out. Let that dry a little bit, and I'm going to start working on some highlights for the candles here. So I've got a couple of yellows pulled. I'm trying to decide if I want to continue with these yellows that I pulled, or I think I do. I'm just going to use this cadmium yellow, and I'm going to go around the outside very lightly with this cadmium yellow because this is a pretty vibrant color, and I'm just going to shade outward from that candle, and anywhere where the light would reflect, or where that light would touch, I am going to go ahead and just color that yellow as well. So this part of the mirror here, and then of course the window there, and on the wall around. Okay, and I'm going to do the same on this side. Again, I'm leaving like a halo effect around the candle. This would probably have a little bit of yellow on the edges here. Yeah, we'll do that. And I'm not going to put the yellow on the flowers or this border piece because that's not necessarily in. I feel like this is kind of like a scrapbook page or something, or a page in a picture in a frame, so that light is not going to reflect on the frame itself. So it is going to reflect on this book, especially on that side. It's going to reflect on this part of the shelf, and probably a little bit right here. And then the other part that I wanted to do, I do want to do this part, but I think that I'm going to have this be like a pink light source a little bit. So yeah, so I'm going to do that with pinks, I think. So let's just get that part watered down that I just put on there. And I am going to use a different water brush. I'm really basically just flipping back and forth between two water brushes. So I have one that has a long, like, straight edge, but it's still pretty thin, and then I have another one that's got a very nice point to it. And this is my Pentel Aquash brush, and I really love this one. And I think this is, I don't remember the brand of this. It's just a very generic one. And I think that I might have colored a little dark on this side. So a way for me to fix that is I can come in and add some of the white and just color right over top of that, and that should help dull it down just a little bit. I've got it light enough on the other side, and then another thing that I'll show you when I get to it is that you can kind of dab some of the color away if you work pretty quickly. So I'm going to start here, and again I'm pushing away from the flame itself, so I can try to reserve that highlight. And one that looks a little dark to me, so I'm going to dab it quickly. And I'm going to get a little bit of yellow going this way. And a little bit going down this way. Dab a little bit away there. Okay. Let's see how we did on this side, if that white helped. Yeah, that feels a little dark to me. So as long as you move quickly, you can really lighten that up. Make sure you clean your brush off in between too. And then we're gonna go out this way. Again, I'm gonna lighten that up as I go. Yeah. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. And it's gonna look a little wonky until I get all the other colors in here too, so. Okay, let's see. Is this dry yet? It's pretty dry, so we can go back in with some other colors if we feel like it. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take one color, and I don't want that one. I want my, no, iron blue, I think. Nope, I want the peacock blue. Yeah, so I've got this peacock blue, and I'm just going to take the tip of my water brush and brush it onto the tip of the pencil, and that way I can just come in and add a little bit of color where I want it. And I don't have to color the whole thing again. So I'm just going to add some color here and there so that it doesn't look so splotchy. And the more that you brush that water brush onto your pencil, the more ink that you're going to pick up. Okay, and I am going to get some of that mauve color because, yeah, so this one's mauve. I'm going to do the same thing. Get some of that color on the tip of my brush and come in here and add that so that I keep some of that pretty pinky purple color. There we go. Sometimes when I'm using the paper towel to clean off my brush, it kind of sucks all the water out. So you have to just get your water brush restarted. Okay, I think that looks a little bit better. And do I want to add in, I think I do want to add in some more of that green color. So we're going to go with the iron green. That's that darker color. And I'm just going to add it here and there, just to blend it out a little bit. Okay, all right, so we're gonna let that sit and dry. And then next, I think I'm gonna work on the wall here and possibly this mirror. I think for the candles, I'm actually going to be using like an actual colored pencil. I think. So maybe I'll do the wood frame, the wall, and the shelves here. And then we'll, yeah, so let me get the colors for that and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so I've got my, do I want this color? No, I want the dark chocolate. Sorry, I was grabbing one more pencil. So for the window frame and the shelves here, I've got dark chocolate and saddle brown. So basically I'm just gonna color it like I would normally with a colored pencil. So I'm just gonna bring the color in this way, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of darker color at the edges. So I'm gonna do that all the way across for each little rung here. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and water that all in. I'm using my fine point brush again. I'm gonna start in the area that is got less color and move into the area with the darker colors. Okay, so when I was doing the part down here, I did do a line of that darker brown color, that bark color, or dark chocolate. And I did a line right underneath the lip of this ledge so that it would look darker. So now I've got a nice shadow there. Okay, I'm gonna come over here and do basically the same thing with the shelves. Also where the light from the candle might hit, I'm going to very lightly come up to the edge of that and not quite color into it. So yeah, so very lightly pressure at the top and then just move it away this way. Okay, so now I'm going to start on the back wall, and I'm going to be using crimson and a very light touch with this one. And let me get you guys back in frame a little bit better. And basically I'm just going to cover the entire back wall with this color, and then I will water that down, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so underneath the windowsill and the shelves here, I am going to add some shadow. So I'm going to go in with a couple different colors. So I'm going to use the crimson color again and make sure that this is dry. I didn't add too much water. So I'm going to go in with this color right at the edge. I'm not pushing super hard. And then I'm going to add in some carmine pink, again right at the edge. And we're going to see how that does. I might go in with some gray if I feel like I need to. So again, the crimson and then the carmine pink. I'm going to do the same thing here. There. I'm going to add some in this book area right here. And again along this book. And probably on this side of the basket here, maybe a little bit on this, along the edge of that bow. And this is just adding a little bit of shadow on the wall from the light. Maybe a little bit in some of these books here too. Okay, I think that should be good. So let's add that color in. I'm gonna angle. I'm going to move you a little bit so that I can make sure that I have my wrist at the right angle. Okay, that looks good. Let's get this section over here. Oops, sorry, make sure that you're in frame. And I'm probably going to say this a million times, but you know, make sure you're going in the direction you want. You're going towards your darkest color, because that will keep that dark color where you want it. Okay, go this way. And I'm going to get these little sections here by the books. And that area is a little bit darker because there's extra shadow right there. Okay, along the edge of the basket here. I don't think my water's flowing in this brush right now. There we go. And right along the edge of the basket. Okay. All right, I'm liking that. So let's see. So I'm going to have this be wood across here. So probably the same wood color that I used before. I'm trying to decide if I want her bed to be like a pink color as well, or maybe a purpley color. I want her room to be very little girl like. So let me get I think what I'll do is I'll do the woodwork and maybe the floor here. Do I want to do that as a wood floor? No, I'm going to leave that as a carpet. Okay, so I've got those two browns again, so that's going to be saddle brown and dark chocolate, and I'm just going to go in and do the woodwork there. Okay, next I'm going to do the wallpaper, and I'm going to do that in stripy pinks. So I've got the two pinks that I used up here. So I've got crimson and carmine, and I'm just going to, I think I want to do I want to do pink and purple? Hold on a second, I might do pink and purple. Okay, I did decide that I am going to do some red violet in here too. So we're going to do, nope, not carmine. I'm going to do crimson and red violet on the wallpaper. Okay, so now I'm going to work on the bed here, and I am going to use another color. I'm going to use this dusky purple, but I'm going to combine it a little bit with the red violet that we used on the wallpaper. So I'm going to color it just like I would, you know, I'm paying attention to highlights and shadows. And I'm going to use this dusky purple as the darker color. And where else? So it's just here. And I think what I'm going to do for the oh, what are those called? Finials? Something like that. For these fancy things at the top of the bed, I'm going to make those some kind of silver, I think, and the same with like this dotted design across the top of the headboard or baseboard. What's that called? Footboard? End of the bed. Okay, I'm just getting all of these little bits and pieces. I'm going to add in a little bit of shadowing. So I'm imagining that this section around here is kind of raised up. So there'll definitely be shadow in this part. This whole part's going to get color because it's going to be fringy. There we go. A little bit of color there, a little bit of color here, and then a little bit of color in the corner down here. All right, well, I hope that doesn't look too crazy once we get it all colored in. All of these will probably be outlined in some sort of white or something too, so I'm not going to worry too much about not I stopped mid-sentence. I'm not going to worry too much about not getting color on that stuff because I'm going to outline it in white. So it'll be okay to get color on it. Okay, I'm going to finish up the bed and then I will be back with you guys in just a second. Okay, so this is what we have so far. This is definitely going to have to be broken up into a couple of videos. This part, we did all of the wall, the wallpaper, the bed, and then the next part we'll start working on some of the details maybe, and then get around the outside. So yeah, I think this is going to be cute. It's going to be really cute. It's going to look rough for a little while, but then once we get all of the details added in and like the white gel pen and all of that stuff, it's going to look great. So, yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.